ladies and gentlemen, I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at the Hori Type 2, the Tier 9 Japanese new tech tree tank. And again, just like the Tier 8, we have lined it up with all the other tanks in Tier 9 that has very similar playstyle. And before I actually looked at the tank, I loved the tank, and I thought, you know what, this is a really good tank. I've only had a couple of games in it, but my first feel of the tank was really, really positive. And then I looked at all the stats, and I thought, wow, like, really? That bad than I thought. They are worse than I thought. So the DPM is quite poorish against all the other TDs, apart from the WZ111G, which it most represents. It most plays like the WZ11G. 2,849. And even if you compare that to the Object 704, 3,255. And of course, the Jagdtiger, the SU-122 are both crazy DPMs, and also the Tier 9 Foch as well. So the DPM is nowhere near as good as all the other ones except for that WZ. Aim time, well, before we get there, the penetration is really, really good at 290 millimeters. Alpha does 560 alpha with 5.9 second reload. No, rate of fire, sorry, 5.9 and 11.79 seconds reload. It is 150 millimeter. Shell velocity is okay at 1000. Aim time is good at 2.08 and dispersion 0.326. So not the best dispersion, but it feels okay. It does feel okay, and it does have 8 degrees of gun depression. Now, the HE on it does 640, and you have the other AP that's 545. So if you look at the alpha of the standard AP, you got 290 pen with 560 alpha, where if you switch to the next one, you're losing 15 alpha, but you're getting 340 millimeters of pen. If you use calibrated shells on top of that, you're getting 357. I probably wouldn't use the calibrated shells. I'd probably go for the reload because the DPM already isn't great. And the penetration, I don't think you need more penetration than 340 millimeters. So the penetration is really good, and you can see against the Object 704 on the Pramo 329, the Jagdtiger 352, which is pretty good, the Foch at 320. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good penetration, and you're not losing much alpha at all. And you can see, just comparing with the Object 704, the Object 704 standard AP does 640, and the APCR does 545. So it's losing almost 100 alpha per shot, where this, you're losing 15. Like, I don't know why Wargaming does that, because I mean, just load up Pramo. Just load up Pramo. 2773 2849. So you're losing not even 100 DPM if you use Pramo, which is crazy. Which is crazy. So I would probably load up as much Pramo as you can. I don't want to say spam Pramo, but while it's there, if Wargaming are going to do it like that, then why not? Why risk using the normal AP with 290 pen, which is still pretty good, when you can just have 340 pen and do only 15 less damage? So I don't know if that's correct on Wargaming's behalf, and I think it's the same as the Tier 10 one as well. But we'll have a look at that different time, tomorrow probably. So stat-wise is pretty average, not fantastic except for that, the Pramo on the thing. 37 kilometers an hour speed, which isn't quick. It's actually quite slower than the Tier 8, almost 10 kilometers an hour slower. And again, the armor is 190 millimeters on your hull. and it is quite a flat tank, so you can't rely on the bounces. So as I've said, I've had 2 games in this tank, and we're going to show you both games, and just to see what I think of the tank. So we're going to play it 2 different ways, and this first one we're going to play it as a sniper. We're going to play it pretty much as a sniper. We're going to go and sit in the bush, and we are going to see how it is. And I thought, even in this game, I thought, you know what, this seems like a pretty nice tank. I'm not going to lie, it does seem like a pretty nice tank. Accuracy seems okay. We are going to fluff, I think, our first shot, and actually get to T49, and we're going to get a bounce. But as I've said yesterday, I like playing these tanks when I first play the tanks. Usually, I like playing it really aggressive instead of sitting at the back, just to see if it can play as front roll sort of thing. And you can see a troll bounce there from the T49. I mean, yeah, it has no armor, and I have a 150mm gun, and I hit his track. So GG Meadsy, well done. But we are going to pull it back, and we are going to get a couple of nice shots in, and you can see the accuracy seems pretty okay. And just like the tier 8 one, it seems that I do hit quite a few snapshots in this tank, because I mean, we have a 9.8 second reload as well if you use adrenaline, so the reload is pretty good in this thing. But yet, looking at the stats wise, I don't think the stats do it justice. I think it definitely plays better, and it definitely feels better than the stats show against all the other TDs. So I don't think it's a frontline, definitely not a frontline TD, and because you haven't got that arm, and you can see again, just like the tier 8, pretty much the whole line, it is quite a big tank, and it has flat sides all around. And with the front plate, again, just like the tier 8, it's pretty much the same as the tier 8, the same millimeters thickness. It's, if you wiggle and angle, yes, you will get troll bounces, but you can't rely on those bounces. And because you can't rely on those bounces, it's definitely not a frontline tank. More of a support role, and you can either sit at the back, supporting your heavies. Wouldn't say support your mediums at all in this tank, because you're not quick enough. Your traverse is really quite slow, but it does the job. It does the job, and I think it's definitely different than the WZ111 G, but I think it does feel better than the 111 G. I don't think it's better than the Object 704. The Object 704 does have the speed. It's a really, really good tank, and it has the really troll armor. But it's a nice tank. It really is a nice tank, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm going to grind this one out. I haven't got the Hori yet on my main account. I mean, I've played it, I've tested it, and I do have the ace, so I'm in no rush to get the tier 10. So I'm definitely going to grind it out. And I mean, I've only had 2 games in this tank, so this is just my first opinion on the tank. Once I have another 10 games, I mean, I've got a feeling that I probably could get bored of it. But for the first couple of games, I mean, I've done all right, and it feels okay. I do wish it was a little bit quicker, like the tier 8. I do think it was a bit quicker. But the speeds, I don't think, the speed's not an issue. You can see it now. I mean, with 37 kilometers an hour, it's not really an issue. Now, I did think when I played this game on Castilla, I thought the camo was actually really, really good. But looking at the stats, it's actually the worse camo than all the tanks that I've pretty much showed you. So I was intending to go on the hill at the back, but the waffle decided to go there. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to play it a little bit more aggressive, and I'm going to just try and get some side shots into these heavies, because I looked at the team, and they only have 1 medium tank. So I did think that the majority of the team will come this way, and this poor KV4 has just got absolutely wrecked. And them 2 shots, I mean, I didn't get spotted at all. So I was quite surprised that I didn't get spotted, and I'm going to get a shot now in the T32, but I am going to get spotted. But I think that's only because there is actually, I'm not going to get spotted just yet. Now, I'm going to move forward a little bit, and because I move forward, I'm going to get the shot off, and I am going to get spotted. But that's because there is a CDC in base B. So he's capped base B. I mean, the enemy are 2 tanks down already, and I do go for the HE shot. Now, I was a little bit disappointed in the HE. I didn't think it does much damage compared to your AP, and I don't think it's worth shooting much. I think, what, 640? I think it's a 640, so it's just over 100, around 100 damage more using the HE. So I wouldn't use the HE as often as you can. I definitely wouldn't use the HE. I wouldn't worry about the HE unless it's things like grills and waffles and Borziks, then maybe. But other than that, I probably wouldn't risk using that HE because you can't do it. You've got more chance of doing less damage on your HE than your AP. Now, these games I haven't even been using Pramo because, one, I don't need to. In tier 10, definitely I would load that Pramo. Definitely would load the Pramo because the Pramo, as I've said, you're losing not even 100 DPM. So against the tier 10s, I would load up that Pramo as much as you can to guarantee the pen. And I think you'll do pretty well in this tank. If you just use the Pramo in this thing, I think you will do really, really well with 340, I think, alpha. So, nice tank. It is a nice tank. Definitely don't look at the stats and think, oh, what a shit tank. Because, yes, stat-wise, compared to all the other tanks, it's not as good. But, to be honest, it feels alright. It feels alright. I might change my mind. I mean, you can see there that shot, 602 alpha. We hit the weak point, and we could have we done 50 damage more than we could have with AP. So just be careful when using that HE. Use it wisely and just think about what you're going to shoot before you use it, whether it's worth shooting that HE. So we're not going to get the final kill. I think the T-34-3, or I think, is going to get the kill on the CDC, and this waffle is about to die. So that game we end up on 3 kills. I mean, we didn't really get challenged only from the CDC, but we still managed to get the ace, and we finish on 4.5k damage. We make a little bit of credits as well, 83,000 credits, and we get the ace. So that was my second game. The first 2 games, as I've said, feels like a nice tank. Don't take too much notice of the stat-wise, and load as much Pramo as possible. If you've got the credits, why not? Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all. Bye-bye.